There's a lot of stuff that I never told the internet. I was so insecure about what men thought of me, what other people thought of me. I have been stuck in a feeling that, and it's not what you see online a lot of times, or maybe even what I used to hear in therapy. It's a messy, juicy, unpredictable journey. How to heal all of my ish and a little bit effed up. Maybe some toxicity in there as well, if I'm honest. I am not meant to be the girl with an eating disorder forever. I'm not the girl who has an eating disorder anymore. I'm waking up every day and being who I think I should be. My life was a mess. That's why we're here. Welcome to How to Be You. I'm Sarah. This is a podcast about the messy, juicy, unpredictable journey that never ends of learning how to be yourself. And how I'm becoming myself in the process. Unfiltered, unedited, not always correct or wise or healthy, but honest. Honestly me, being me so that you can be you. Let's dive in. If you don't know me, I'm Sarah. I have been a body image coach for 6 years now after my own struggles with eating disorder that changed my entire life, taught me intuitive eating, body neutrality, body acceptance, and has led to a life where I host workshops, retreats, online coaching programs with incredible women, hundreds of them over the last 6 years, all over the world. Back then, I had 600 followers on Instagram on like a little personal blog that I had had for a long time where I would just share every little thought that popped into my brain. When I was going into the beginning of eating disorder recovery, I needed that outlet because I was a girl who was completely lost in who I was. I didn't like my body. I didn't like who I was. I was so insecure about what men thought of me, what other people thought of me. I struggled in friendships. I struggled in my family relationships. My life was a mess. And through sharing my story online, through eating disorder recovery and weight gain and all of the personal growth, the healing the negative self-talk, the healing my relationship with exercise and food in the process, the work that I do now reaches millions of people every month. And I'm damn good at it. And I'm not that girl anymore. I am not the girl who has an eating disorder anymore. I no longer struggle with my relationship with food or exercise or my body image, but I've realized that one of the reasons that I feel like I am not being me, like there's this other version of me out there that could be happier because she'd be more herself, it's because I've been keeping myself in this box of being the girl who had an eating disorder, who struggles with her body image. My life is more than that now, and trying to stay in that identity that I created for myself, especially on social media, it's making me feel like I'm playing a part, like I'm waking up every day and being who I think I should be instead of being myself. And one of the things that I find the most frustrating about all of this, like personal growth, body image healing journey, is that it never ends. And I'm treating the part of me, the part of my story where I was eating disorder recovered and comfortable in my body, and like a really important point that I'm really proud to have gotten to, I'm treating her like she was the end point of that story. And I have been trying to fit myself into that outdated version, into that identity that I built online and I built in myself ever since. I haven't lived in my home country for 3.5 years, and I never talk about it on the internet because it doesn't fit into the identity of the American girl who struggled with her body image and had anxiety and kept herself small. I do all of these things that I don't talk about because I feel like they're not the juiciest stories or me in the peak of my struggle. But the reality of life and personal growth and healing is that we as humans are meant to evolve. I am not meant to be the girl with an eating disorder forever. And the biggest struggle here is I haven't been able to accept that being me means being someone that's always gonna change. And I need to accept that how I be me and how to be you is about being okay with exactly who we are right now. I also want to be able to share with you like the things that I'm still figuring out, and that's more in the realm of how to be a good person living in a country where I have a lot of privilege, how to be a good daughter or family member when I live on the other side of the world from my parents, how to heal all of my ish when it comes to dating, which is a whole other story that we're gonna have to get into. How to be me, whatever that looks like today or tomorrow or next year. And in the process, I really want to show you how to be you, whatever that means to you, because being yourself is not being the best version of yourself. It's being the most honest version of yourself. But I would be a hypocrite if I came here and I told you how to do that if I didn't do it myself. And so I have a lot of thoughts on how to be yourself. And it's not what you see online a lot of times, or maybe even what I used to hear in therapy. It's being okay with exactly who you are in this moment, because that is all you have. And so my goal for this podcast, the reason that I'm doing this, is to have an outlet, to have a space where I can show up again the way that I used to 6 years ago on my tiny little Instagram blog and be my unfiltered, imperfect, honest self. This podcast is going to be a lot of me reflecting on the worst, hardest, most confusing, most unknown, best times in my life, being honest about what was going on in my head in that exact moment, not just giving you the reflections and the advice of like, oh, I figured it out, here's how you can do it too, but really leveling with you, and therefore is honest and raw and unfiltered and unapologetic and probably not politically correct all the time and a little bit effed up and maybe some toxicity in there as well, if I'm honest. There's a lot of stuff that I never told the internet happened in my life over the last few years that I know you need to hear. That's why we're here. I hope you'll be with me for the ride. Season 1 is gonna be juicy, to say the least. This is how I'm trying to be me, and this is how to be you. Okay, love you, bye.